Picture this, a medical aspirant's heart pounding with excitement and nerves as they embark on the journey of NEET UG 2023 counseling, a pivotal moment that could shape their entire medical career. In a sea of choices, each decision becomes a stepping stone towards their dream of becoming a healthcare professional. Amidst the vast ocean of opportunities, the path to success may seem daunting. But fear not, for today we embark on a voyage of discovery. NEET UG 2023 Counselling Tool, a revolutionary pathway guiding these bright minds towards a future of endless possibilities. So let's gain invaluable insights into the challenges and opportunities faced by these medical students as we prepare to unravel the wonders of NEET UG counseling tool with our esteemed guest, Professor Bhuvanesh Pareek from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, India. Professor specializes in machine learning, Bayesian statistics, data analytics, and consumer choice modeling. Formerly, he was a teaching and visiting scholar at the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, and assistant professor at IIM Indore. Having earlier worked with Citibank's Global Decision Management Division, his foray into academia has seen his work featured in journals like the Journal of American Statistical Association and the Journal of Royal Statistical Society. Professor Bhumesh, having you here with us is an honor beyond words.
Thank you, Dr. Harshita. Pleasure is mine.
Thank you, Professor. So let's begin our session. So, Professor, what was the primary problem statement that led you to consider addressing the challenges faced by medical aspirants during the counseling process?
Yeah, it never started with medical actually. Uh, I
Okay.
myself has been engineering student. I went to IIT Kanpur, and since I left IIT or during IIT, I've been helping students in their counseling sessions. Like it's like uh, till you are appearing in, let's say, entrance examination, JE or NEET, uh, your entire focus isn't on the cracking the exam, right? Once you have get your rank, then suddenly you would realize that now what, right? So am I making a right decision? You never thought about that moment, or you could never imagine your rank at which you have to take a decision. So I remember my own engineering counsel. My father would sit down, take the last year's brochure or last year's seat allotment, create the entire list, create something chart, and saying that this is what we can get, this we might not be able to get, and till the end, till we were reached in IIT Bombay for counseling, we are not even sure what we will get, even to the last moment. One day, one evening before, somebody from say senior batch from IIT Bombay just said that why don't you fill maths on a higher level in the counseling, give it a slightly higher preference than other branches which you have mentioned, and I have a hunch that you might get it. And here I was, like IIT Kanpur maths department, studying math stats. Right. So this is just like somebody with his experience coming up and telling you that, although you think this is out of reach, but there's a good chance you will get it. So that's where it all began. That this is a complex process. Every student face this dilemma. You must have faced a similar dilemma, Harshita, right? Would you
Yes.
like to tell me about your experience with the counseling?
Yes, even I was like, I was not sure where I'll get into, and plus the quota and rank, it all matters, right? Even the quota thing. Yeah, so I was not sure whether I'll get that college or not. So it's very stressful situation, and yes, I'm glad that such tool is now available.
So, like when we started kind of guiding students, of this is what you can get. Uh, every time they'll say, "I will get this branch or not. I will get this." So in JE, it's more about branch. So the idea was to create a tool for JE. That's how we started. It was long there in my head that I want to create something like this, because every year 5 to 10 people will call me to know more about JE branch, what thing they should be doing. And I've even asked many of my friends to create this. I will tell you how to use data, how to create these models. Nobody was taking it up. Then this year, Nihit joined me from Georgia State, US, as an intern. So I proposed this idea to him, and he loved it. So he jumped on it. So we together kind of built the JE tool first. Once we released the JE tool, suddenly some of my friends and colleagues and family friends started asking, "JE is fine. What about NEET?" I was like, "Okay, I never thought about it." Then they said that it's due in like 3 weeks. Can you take a shot? I said, "I have no idea." So Dr. Neha was my senior. Her son is currently joined AIMS Delhi. He was AR 5 this year. So she said that I'll help you to know what that NEET counseling is, and how it's different from JE. And then from Akash, we had another counselor who helped us to tell brief about overall picture, that how this JE the NEET counseling works. But once we started getting into it, it was really messy. Like quotas, 15% going to all India counseling, remaining to state counseling, then multiple layers of subsections, NRI quota, management quota, and Delhi quota. Then, and you go to state, like in Karnataka, we discovered like 60, 70 different kinds of seats are reserved, right? So suddenly I was like, okay, this is more complex than JE. So can we put our hands on this? And another challenge which we were facing on this idea was more on different states releasing their data set in different format. But reading the data, creating the model. So these are the things which we started. But the whole idea still remains the same, that can we tell student by his or her rank that these are the possible colleges which they can get
Yeah.
under which particular kind of quota. So this is the only idea we kept. Started with JE, but somehow we entered into medical counseling as well.
But that's great, Professor, and it's commendable, like to see how you identified this crucial area of concern. And moving ahead, Professor, can you also tell me the inspiration behind? Like you have already shared, but anything specific? Anybody told you or pushed you to create this?
So like I mentioned, like my father did it for me. Sat down on a list of paper and created, put that every branch. Uh, then when my students or the known people have started asking me, then every time I'm trying to tell them, no, this you might get, you might not get, right? So first I started with something like that, at the last year's closing rank, plus minus 100. If it is there, there's a good chance you will get it, right? But still you are never sure, right? So every time you have to answer multiple questions about multiple branch, there's still one problem unsolved, which I will discuss later, but which we'll intend to solve maybe next year. So then can we create a comprehensive kind of list where person directly gets, and we allow them to play the ranks, so that the person has a list before person goes to the counseling, that this is what my preferences looks like. So you have to take care of some, most of the time people say that, what is the most popular branch, who takes it, which is most popular college, right? So how do you find which is the most popular college, right? So you have to solve a little bit of like data kind of problem simply, and then you kind of create a rank based on the popularity, and release them, and also give them a slight flexibility so that they can alter the ranks or the preference order based on their needs and requirement. So the consumer, or the students constant demand kind of was motivating me. Then I think somebody this year tweeted something about the IIT data sets. The person extracted the data, and so I was like, okay, yeah, it looks like it's doable. I'm just not putting my head into it, and no one else is putting their head into it. Let me start. And that's the exact reason I kind of started. And luckily, like I told you, Nehat joined, so it was a wonderful working with him.
Yes, that's great. And Professor, this how does this tool streamline the college selection process? Like how they assist students?
So, for example, I specifically talk about NEET. So, currently, you could scrape data for 4 states and all India counseling. So, it has like 5 different. So, once you log into the tool, you will find all India counseling, and then Rajasthan, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. So, like few states which we could scrape the data, we put it there on the. Uh, so, from a drop down, you select which counseling you're looking for. So, once you've selected that particular drop down, then the next set of questions will come where you have to provide your rank, your applicable quotas, which are there for you, and then you just say, show me my preference. So, it pulls last year's data and try to find out within your applicable quotas which was like centrally upper, in terms of if 100 seats are there, then 50th seat was filled first. So it tries to determine the rank, that half filling proportions. So where it gets faster, we'll put it on the top. So we try to either use median or we use mode if I use to be a bit technical. But this is the idea we started. And then we wanted to find out how faster the seats get filled for each colleges. So every college's seats get filled at a particular rate. So we figured out which rate it gets filled. Now, suppose the rate we know, and there's a change in the seats. So last year, this college had like 300 seats, now has 400. So by this rate, if we proportionately develop how faster up to what rank this time it will flow. Based on that probability, we decide whether you are going to get the seat or you might not get the seat. So if we think if it is probability falls below 10%, then it's become really shaky. 20% probability. So we don't display probability in the NEET tool, but JE tool we actually display because these are the math guys. So they would understand the meaning of the probability. So here you will find the college, quota, and whether you are likely to get it or not in a ranked order from the popularity point of view.
Yeah, so Professor, how accurate is this tool, if I may ask? Like, what would be the margin of error?
See, what happens, suppose like accuracy in the sense, for example, we say the probability is 10%. So probability of 10% means with this rank, if 10 times need counseling happens, one time you will get it. 9 times you might not get it. So it could be a lucky day. Or second way to look at it is generally whenever the students are asking me how this tool works, then it says that what is the meaning of 10%? So we say that most likely 10% seat would be vacant. Right? If you have only 50 seats, the 10% would be 5. So 5 seats would be vacant. Suppose just 5 people before you chooses those seats, then you might miss it. Because all these colleges are competing with each other. So far, whomever I have recommended, roughly around 20% probability, 15 to 20% probability, people are getting the branch. Anything below it becomes slightly dicey. You may or may not get it. So, but wherever it says that you are definitely get it, or very likely you will get it, you can be assured that this is a college you will get if it will be
Okay.
counseling.
And Professor, now since it's in 4 states only, so when can we anticipate its expansion to include other states as well?
So we are actually looking at the seats. and the final result from different state counseling. But the formats are so different, and few seats have very few. Few colleges have very few seats. So these are will be our kind of last priority to pick it up. First, we want to try out for top 10 states which have by the number of seats they have. So we are trying to expand. Maybe this year might not be possible for us because last year's data is not available with us. So without the data, we won't be able to run these models,
Yeah.
and there's no point of guessing these seats. So we try to build based on the models which are available. So next year we are definitely planning, because this year's we are tracking as state counseling announces their result. We are going to grab it. If maybe next year we'll open for the community. So if there are some people who has this data, they can share with us. We can start compiling the results and releasing it.
Yeah, so like how much time did it take for planning to execution of this tool?
Planning is was there for so many years. It just I never could execute it. But this year, JE required us roughly around 3 weeks, because we're trying to crack for the first time. Need 10 days it took even just to understand what this is all about, because we coming from math background and never entered in the medical counseling, just to even grasp what the complexities are, where the complexities are coming from, was a different challenge for us. But once we got it, so it just rather than college branch, it's different college quotas. So that kind of breakup we did and ran the similar algorithm for the entire quota systems. Then we forwarded to many people. They tried test and error, and they came back with the feedback that this is wrong, that is wrong. Then we realized some filtering is missing, some the wrong filtering is happening in the quota, or we have typos, which so kind of corrected, rectified, then released to for public use. I would still say that this is work in progress. If you find anything, please feel free to write to us. We will improvise next time.
Yes, but I'm sure the time you have already spent will be worth it. And
So I'm hoping that students would have found it useful, because it takes away a little bit of pressure, that you don't have to ask this question to somebody that whether I will get this branch or not, right?
yeah.
And you can directly apply your thoughts on to choose which college you want to take on.
Yeah, so Professor, any additional application of this tool that you foresee, like that you might that may be beneficial to medical students or doctors or any other field?
So we were kind of discussing like two different areas in which we are looking for expansion now. One is whether can I apply the modern machine learning algorithms than simple models which we have used based on rates, like survival models which we have applied here. We even tried non-parametrics model along with it. Uh, so second area which we are planning to expand is person's interest. It's depend very much, at least if I talk about the JE counseling, that who you are and which branch you will be able to relate to. Maybe it's more related to PG counseling in NEET rather than UG that much. But again, if you think not everybody is meant to enjoy, let's say, metallurgy, or say neuroscience or gynecology. So can we psychometrically also link person's interest and alter the preferences based on the person's capabilities or interest, or where the person might enjoy? So that's the second dimension we are trying to look for. Third dimension we are looking for, like, is there any like gender preferred locations, or let's say any particular community prefers any particular kind of colleges. So that will be more social fabric kind of analysis, which might be interest to like policymakers, whether their choices of opening colleges are right track, or new locations where they should be looking forward, where uh, different communities feel confident to go. So these are the three areas which we are looking for right now for expansion, which will help medical students. Also, it will help policymakers.
Yeah, that's nice. And I would like to know, like, what features does this tool offers?
So this tool currently just asks your rank, gender, different applicability quotas, and gives you the colleges and applicable quotas, and just an indication whether you will get it or not. So it will be a kind of list which will be given to you. You can use this list for counseling purposes while putting in the counseling form. You can alter the JE counseling tool, if I say so, based on your preferred IITs or preferred branch. So it will kind of change the rank order. We didn't give this feature in the NEET at this moment because there are so many colleges. So we were initially intending to do was to use your geotag locations to sort it based on your nearest popular medical college. But at this moment, we could not release that feature in this. Maybe next time I will try.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So, so my last question would be like, what advice do you have for aspiring medical students when using the
Oh.
NEET UG counseling tool to make the most informed decision of their future career in medicine?
So this is just a guiding tool. Don't rely on this 100% because sometimes seats increases, seats decreases, different quotas come into the place, and sometimes students from your community has, or your city has got higher rank than you. They might prefer the same college which you are preferring, and you might not get it. Or sometimes new colleges has been added. So this is more like a guiding tool. Use it to create a plan of yourself, what you are looking for. So right, and generally, my best advice to students is that there is any college which you talk about has a legacy, and look out for that legacy. Go for that legacy. There's a reason that college is very famous and running since so long. If you become part of that environment, certainly it will give you a different kind of exposure, and it will change you from a teenager to adulthood. So take a chance on college prestige, college legacies, and uh, give slightly lesser preference to whether this is close to me or not, or is this famous for something else, or better facilities. So look out for better learning.
Yes, I absolutely. And medical aspirants should also explore this tool once. And
I would recommend please explore this tool. If there are some issues, you find something, any feature you want me to add, feel free to reach out to us. We'll definitely incorporate next time. It's really available to anybody who wants to use it.
yes. Now, Professor, we have arrived towards the end of the session. So, thank you, Professor Bhuvnesh, for joining us today. It was a very nice and informative session. I'm really fascinated by how you took this as a challenge and thrived to deliver a solution successfully. So, thank you again for sharing your wonderful journey with us.
Thank
So,
you, Dr. Ashita. I think I really enjoyed it. Also, this is another way for me to reaching out to medical fraternity to give this tool because I'm coming from the other side. Please make best use of this tool and let us know if there are any feedbacks.
yes, thank you. And a huge thank you to our audience for tuning in. And before we conclude, I want to bring your attention to the MedSynapse platform, our vibrant hub that's redefining the healthcare landscape. It serves as an invaluable resource for professional doctors like you, offering opportunities to engage in meaningful discussions, connect with expert doctors, and be part of advancements in healthcare. So why wait? Explore MedSynapse platform right now to make the most of these remarkable opportunities. I'm your host, Dr. Harshita, signing off. Bye bye.